Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. I'm Kamiko Love from thebudgetmom.com, and today we are talking all about pantry organization. So today we're talking all about pantry organization and how to do that on a budget. So recently I just moved into my new home and it's the first time I've ever had a dedicated pantry space. Luckily for me though, in my older apartment, I did learn to use some tools and resources that ended up saving me some money on pantry organization. So I'm going to be walking through all those different things that has kind of helped me on my pantry organization journey throughout the years. Now, even though this is my first time with a dedicated pantry space, there are some things that I have implemented prior to today that has really helped me save costs on what I have going on behind me. Now, this is my pantry. It's a corner walk-in pantry. It's still pretty small. It's not gigantic. So we really have to utilize the space the best we can and be as efficient as we can. And we'll be talking about that today as well in this video. So very quickly, I wanted to mention that when I am organizing a space, whether it be my pantry, my finances, my office, or any area of my home, the first thing that I focus on is efficiency. So it's really nice when we have an organized space that looks like a designer space, right? It's beautiful and has all these wonderful things, but organizing can be kind of a rabbit hole. It's really easy to get caught up in all the cute, beautiful little bins and all the different baskets and the wicker baskets and all the different compartment things that we can get. And it can get kind of spendy. So if you are organizing a space such as your pantry, it's really important to focus on efficiency over looks. It's great to have a space that looks really good, but it's even more important that what we're doing as far as organizing is adding value to our lives. And the one way that we do that is through efficiency and have it make our lives a little bit easier. So I'm going to be giving you some tips on how you can still make your space look good without having to spend a lot of money for all the different bins and all the different goodies when it comes to organizing a space like a pantry. Okay, so here is a close-up look of my pantry. So we have bins up top and then literally everything that's found in a pantry. So it's important to mention first things first. Let's talk about the different bins that you use for your pantry. So the best option is to use a clear bin, a see-through bin where you can see what's inside and how much you have left. Now, my budget hack with this is you could spend a lot of money, anywhere between $20 and $40 for a big glass jar like this, especially like these ones up top, like these ones that I have all my baking supplies in. But what we don't really notice in our lives is that we run across glass food jars all the time. So whether it be pickle jars or other type of pickled goods or canned goods, for instance, let me show you a really great example. So this is a canned jar. This would be perfect for holding smaller baking supplies. Like it would be great for my cocoa powder or my cornstarch, even M&Ms or chocolate chips for your baking, or maybe even some nuts for baking. So once we use these sliced peaches, I would literally take off the adhesive sticker, I would wash it out really good, and you have yourself a really nice clear glass bottle without having to spend additional money. So my first tip when organizing your pantry is keep in mind of the different types of jars that you run across in your everyday life. Now you can see that I kind of am a hoarder of glass jars because I feel like it's a great way to organize things in your pantry. So these are just a few of the ones I've saved throughout the last couple months because I knew we were going to get a pantry when we got into the house. So I just have this little glass jar. I have a little mason jar. I have a couple of these that came from my older apartment, as well as this one. So I just keep a small dedicated space in my pantry where I collect those glass jars. That way I have them if I have something that I need to fill them up with. All right, so the number one question I've been getting when I show this on my Instagram is my pasta jars. Now these jars are airtight lock jars. You can get these on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description of this video. So anything that I did end up buying for my new pantry, I'll put links in the description of the video. I get a lot of questions. Now, the cereal dispenser is something that we implemented into my life because I'm trying to teach my son to be more self-sufficient. So before, I had the boxes of cereal way up high on a shelf. He couldn't get his own cereal in the morning. So now it helps a little bit with portion control as well, but he literally just sticks his bowl right under here, spins the wheel 3 times, and that's how much he knows to fill up his cereal bowl, and he goes over and gets his own cereal. So this has helped me immensely as far as my son being able to provide for himself a little bit more, even at 7 years old. So my next tip is labels. Things feel a little more organized and become a little bit more efficient anytime you have dedicated labels for what's inside each thing. Now you might be saying, well, Miko, it's a little bit excessive because you can see what's already inside of the jar, but not necessarily. So you can easily mistake cornstarch for flour. And especially if you're working with many different flours. So I'm on a baking journey. I'm learning how to bake. I have 4 or 5 different flours. So I have cake flour, I have all-purpose flour, I have self-rising flour, I have pastry flour, so those could easily be mixed up. So having a label for each thing helps. Now, don't go crazy on your labels. The point is to have a label. Doesn't mean you have to have the most expensive one. So what I did, and let me bring you around, I ended up getting a bulk pack of labels from Amazon for really, really cheap. It actually came with the marker as well. And you can see I have a bunch of them. But you get a ton of them. And they come in a pack that looks like this. You get all different shapes and sizes. Now, I went with the chalkboard label because if you ever switch out your jars, you can just erase the chalkboard marker and then reuse the label. So you're not having to buy labels and spend money over and over again for different labels. And a lot of these labels came with the chalkboard or chalk marker pen. So that's what I'm using for my labels. Pretty affordable because you get a ton of them. Now, as far as your bins go, so it's important not to focus on, like, it's really nice to have wicker bins or wicker baskets, but they're spendy. So what I did is I bought a bunch of these bulk cloth type bins, a lot more affordable, and you can get them in bulk. A set of 3 whisker baskets can go anywhere between $50 and $75. I got all of these ones for less than $40, and I have a ton of them. So that's another great tip. Go with more of the cloth bins over the wicker bins. And as you can see down here at the very bottom of my pantry, I even have more of the empty jars that I'm saving in case I'll ever have to use them. Now, these big jars, like what I have my flapjack protein powder stuff that looks like this, power cakes. So it's great if you have a really big quantity that you need to put into a type of container because they're huge. Also, plastic is fine. Just make sure that the plastic container is meant for food storage. Another thing to mention is don't underestimate the dollar store or the Dollar Tree. So a lot of the things that you're seeing in my pantry are actually from the Dollar Tree. So if you have a pantry that has a really high space between shelves, you can utilize a lot more space if you start stacking, and you can see that I've done that with a lot of my canned goods. Now, this can stacker I actually bought on Amazon. It was only $18, and it holds a lot. You can see, because you can double up on the cans, it holds a lot. Now, I bought these different types, and you can see I have a bunch of them down here. These are actually from the Dollar Tree or the dollar store, and they're great if you have to start stacking items to utilize more space in your pantry. And as far as bins go, the Dollar Tree also has some amazing pantry or plastic bins for your pantry as well. So these plastic bins that you see right here, these are actually from the dollar store as well, and they can be utilized for a lot of different things. When organizing your pantry, it's really important to have the layout for something that it has to make sense to you. So when you go into your pantry, you really want to know where everything is and how it's organized. So for me, I organize by category. So I have canned goods. I have baking supplies up there. I have pasta in the left here, snacks on this shelf, and what I couldn't fit as far as bigger items, that's part of snacks. And then I have breakfast goods, and then my bigger cans are back here. My rices are right here. Now I like to buy bulk rice because it's cheaper, like the really big bags of jasmine rice. So I have my back stock of rice back there in the corner. Now working with these corner pantries is hard because you have that corner space that needs to be utilized, and it's hard to kind of fit something. You can see up there, up top on that, it's not really being utilized, but that's okay. But for these bottom shelves, rice back stock, so I have easily accessible rice. And then I continue to fill up these jars when they run low with my back stock, and then my bigger canned goods. Now, this is my walk-in pantry. But don't be afraid to utilize other cupboards as well, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm also using a cupboard that's right next to my stove, and it's right next to my pantry. And this is kind of the stuff that I grab a lot, so I'm constantly accessing these goods. So we have honey, we have instant soups, we have our jams and peanut butter for sandwiches, we have all of my different spice packets that I'm using for cooking, more baking supplies, so my breadcrumbs and my onions are over there, and these are all of my different sauces and vinegars for baking. So we have like our teriyaki sauces. I have all of my hot sauces gathered together. And then up there is my breakfast and vinegar station. So we have all my breakfast goods. And then my oils and my sprays. And then up top, I have more of my back supply. So I have dedicated areas in my pantry or in my cupboards that are for dedicated back stock. So we have more peanut butter, a big case of the baked beans, and then my dedicated space for back stock in my pantry, which is the rice. I also have a dedicated drawer, pull-out drawer for back stock of my baking supplies. And this is a pretty deep drawer. Let me just see. You can see. So I got like 4 things of brown sugar, light and dark brown, more flour, cornstarch, powdered sugar, my cocoa baking soda. So this is my dedicated back stock of all my baking supplies. And what I recommend is if you're organizing your pantry or a cupboard, to have an area or a couple of different areas that is dedicated to back stock. And then utilize your containers for easy grab and go convenience. Now, one of the number one rules as far as organizing a pantry should be never have anything tucked behind jars and don't stack. Because the point is you want to be able to grab very quickly, like grab it and go. Now, I am working with a little bit tighter of a space, so I do have some goods or containers that I have to move aside. Like I have to move this aside if I want to grab the sugar or the flour. I do have some things that are behind containers, but I can still see everything, and I think that's the point. Like the pasta, I have 3 different pastas back there. So I do have to move some things to access them, but they're not like everyday use items. Like I'm not baking every single day. So it's a matter of just knowing. And then as far as my canned goods go, I have dedicated areas. So chili, soups, canned veggies, soups across the bottom, refried beans. This is all my tomato goods, paste, sauce, diced, crushed tomatoes, pasta sauce, and then my cream of chicken soup is down here. And my cream of mushroom soup is here. So in my head, mentally, I know how my pantry is organized, that I can get and access those things quickly. I do have my potato and onion keepers down there. That's what these jars are here for. And I'm sorry about the lighting. We're just making it work. So I have my potatoes down there. And then my onions are down here. So I also don't have a laundry basket on the lower level or the main level of my house, so I throw my dirty kitchen towels in there until I do a load of laundry. I can just haul the basket upstairs. So my pantry is really the walk-in pantry. We have the cupboard, and then we have the back stock of the baked goods. So my number one tips would be, don't go out and buy a ton of these clear glass containers. These glass containers can be really expensive. Save the ones that you come across in your everyday life. Pickle jars, can jars that you can take off the peel or the adhesive sticker and reuse. So this would be a perfect jar for that. Here's another one. It's a great glass jar. Focus on cloth bins if you're needing bins, or even plastic bins are cheaper. Now, a great budget tip as far as bins go. If you order something, or like maybe you have a baby and you're ordering diapers and you're doing it a lot and you're getting a lot of those boxes that are relatively the same size and shape, save those boxes, because those boxes could then become your bins. You can wrap them with wrapping paper, you can paint them with chalkboard paint, and all of a sudden you have a nice bin that's decorated and it can match your theme or your style in your pantry, but the box was free because you already had it in your life. So that's a great tip for if you're wanting to work with bins. Focus on, especially the bigger bins, cloth or plastic. And then also check out the Dollar Tree, because they have some great, before you go shopping for any type of bins or containers, I would check the Dollar Tree first, because they have some really great things. So I'll put a links in the description of this video for all of my different pantry goods if I did end up buying them. But a lot of these I utilized from what I already had. Like these blue bins were actually in the bathroom of my apartment. And now, like, I'm getting ready to fill these. Like, here's all my tortillas in that bin. And what I'm going to do for labels with these ones is I'm just going to stick it's kind of a smooth type cloth. A chalkboard label would actually stick to this just fine. And here's another Dollar Tree bin that's holding all of my tuna, fish, and chunk chicken. They pull out nice. They work really well, and for $1, hey, you can't go wrong. So that's what I currently have going on in my pantry and some of the things I learned along the way that has saved me some money. If you found this video helpful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe.